Hello, welcome back. So I decided to do a live tonight because I saw the questions raining in about the support levels, and everyone's blaming the shorts and stuff like that. And after I explained it several times, I'm just gonna go live and we will take a look at everything together. Um, Technically speaking, we had around 4 points on the support level here that we consider to be some support for the overall price action. And today we bounced around off of the 7.7, but ultimately we broke it. And right now we're resting 21 50-day moving average with price action. The unique thing is neither one of the indicators, all the indicators are pretty much parallel to each other. The 21, the 50, and the 72. The great thing is the 21 is actually still above the 50-day. So we have not got that cross to the downside. So we're kind of just like hovering, well, this was the wrong angle. So like this, parallel to each other. So as of right now, we did break the support. And I think that what initially everyone assumed is because of the patterns is, okay, it's the shorts, it's the shorts. That's like I've seen the comments on Twitter, on my page here, private messages, everyone assumes it's the shorts. And this is not the work of the shorts. Shorts are actually still down. And this alludes to what I've been talking about over the last few days, is that when you have that, is exchanges, institutions, and stuff like that, they can be on opposing sides of a play. So when you have a large amount of money come in to an asset, typically shorts will kind of back off here and see, reevaluate the investment, because at that point it's no longer retail they're going up against. They're going up against, God knows what type of fund and what kind of money they have. And things can get ugly really quick when you start shorting these assets. But when you start pouring into these assets with price action and stuff like that, you'll see that you'll have these large spikes of money, in the tunes of billions of dollars, and then you'll have a consolidation. The most important thing I think we can do is make sure that we're not isolating Dogecoin and saying, oh, Doge broke support and stuff like that, without looking at the overall big picture, which is all of the coins broke their recent support. And Doge, outside of, I believe, USD coin, well, Doge is actually the still only coin in the top 10 to still be up over the 7 days. And the other coins are still red, even further red than they were on the previous days. So we're going to take a look here on CoinMarketCap. Received my shirt today. Love it. I'm glad you did. I put tracking on it to make sure that you got your shirt. So I am really glad that you got it today. Absolutely. Thank you. Let's see. Let's take a look here at the actual shorts. I want to show everyone. So this is the short chart. So the price action, the sell-off that you've seen today is not the result of shorts. This is more of I'm just going to say organic, but when you see that type of money come in and stuff like that, you have to keep in mind that what we've talked about a lot here when it comes down to gaps and stuff like that is when you have that type of momentum come in, typically it can be volatile. You can expect to sell. That's why I went ahead, even though we were hitting like 9 cents and stuff like that, I was going ahead and charting support lines and stuff like that to see where we'd catch. Ultimately, I do believe that we're going to set a higher high unless we get like a cross to the downside or something like that. But I do believe ultimately, until we are officially like in our next bull run, we'll have this consolidation, sideways movement, and we'll start trending upward to a more organic placement, especially with shorts like this. Because if we have institutions playing inside the market and pumping coins and putting money in and stuff like that, the shorts are not going to be as aggressive as they were before for the reasons I just stated. But I wanted to put this up in front of everyone to show you that shorts have literally blown past all of their previous averages. And because this was the highest amount that they've been in since, I believe, June. And before that, I think it was like February. And they're now, what is this? Well below even their 50-day. Below 21, obviously 72, 50-day. So as of right now, they're actually approaching their 200-day low. So that is the benefit of institutional money coming into the markets. And again, that's not limited to Dogecoin, but it's the benefit of having that money flow into the market is because you have less games being played when it comes down to short. So it can kind of give you a more organic play. Of course, you have to worry about institutions and stuff like that selling, but it kind of keeps a lot of the BS out of the market because nobody wants that direct confrontation. Let me show you coin market cap so you can see what I mean by overall everything's still well. So this is the top 10. You'll see last 7 days, Bitcoin red, Ethereum red, Tether red, USD coin flatline, BNB red, Binance USD somewhat flatline, a little bit of an incline here. What is it? 0.06%. XRP red, Cardano red, Solana red. Then we have Dogecoin. Even now, with us breaking support, we still have the highest gain percentage in the top 10 with support broken. Again, necessarily you can't prove. I see this here. What caused the last spike? Can't prove it. Institutions not going to come out and say, "Hey, yeah, we put 30 billion into the market overall." But they're not going to come out and say that. But when you see these large fluctuations, it's safe to say that this is from the financial sector. You can say institutional money. This is when you see 20, 30, 40 billion dollars flow into the market over the course of 2 hours and everything goes to heaven, not to heaven, but everything appreciates greatly. That's not retail doing that. It's very safe to say that that is institutional money. So when you have that money come in, you just kind of have to, see as far as where it's going to gather support. But that also lets you know that the institutions, they are, strategizing and being more comfortable entering into the market. And outside of retailers being in the coin, institutions coming into the market is overall bullish for the market. This lets you know that they're not necessarily as afraid as they were a month and a half ago with all that uncertainty, and they're pretty much saying, okay, well, we believe that we are either at or near some of the bottom here, so we're going to go ahead and start taking positions, start moving money around, and seeing how the flow goes, so they can go ahead and take their positions for the next cycle. And again, based off of where we are now, yes, crypto chart wise, you'll have the bullish sector saying that yes, it'll be late, bull cycle wise saying that it'll be like late next year in 2024. But overall, you have like this bottoming. Bitcoin technically hits its bottom around 11 to 14 months after its all-time high. That puts that around October, November of this year. And then you have this gradual sideways movement up until it does its next run. Ironically, Bitcoin likes to start its ascend on its bull run in December. Now, will that be this December or will that be next December? Chart-wise, it should be next year. Again, I'm not sure. This is one of the things that I'm looking forward to kind of getting concrete evidence on is if the amount of retailers that have came into the market, has it shortened the cycles? Has it shortened the bear market cycles that's in crypto? Has it shortened the time span in between the bull market cycles and stuff like that in crypto? I have no evidence on that. That's something we're going to have to see, but that will be something to look for in December of this year, because bottom wise, historically, the bottom should either be already in or relatively close for Bitcoin. So we should, technically speaking, chart-wise, we should be ascending, not necessarily bullish, but we should be ascending toward finish the year around like 30K or so. And for the rest of the market, this is why I said that we should be setting higher highs, not necessarily going on these tears upward, but we should start seeing more entries into the market from these institutions and stuff like that, and have this gradual appreciation to a more organic price. Now, we do still have a couple macros out there that can trip things up. Obviously, China's real estate market, obviously the CPI numbers coming out next month is going to be really, really crucial to make sure that those are on track with the Fed's projections, and they're not going to have to make a U-turn on any of their calculations for interest rates and stuff like that for the rest of the year. And if all of that is on par, unless some foreseen event happens, that'll be most of the negative clouds that have been causing the uncertainty in the markets for the past few months. So this can allow the market price actions and stuff like that to have more of an organic price and not have this like scarcity mindset and sell-offs and us literally scraping the floor and low volume. That's another tell to have us testing the bottoms consistently. And that's another thing that you can kind of see here overall. And when you look at these prices, is check the volume in the last 24 hours. The volume is up. Yes, we can have these sellouts. Institutions can come in and to like test the waters here and take some money back out and stuff like that. But volume and where they put the money, that is what I was most excited about, because the biggest thing was that, oh, you know, Dogecoin is, you know, dead, or these coins are dead and stuff like that. But when you have institutions come in and they start choosing which coins that they're going to put money in, and then you have a large amount of money dedicated to coins that you're invested in, that is a great indicator for where they're going to put money and their interest long term. You know, that's certainly a bullish trait for me long term, is making sure that, you know, there's still, you know, interest there from the retail sector. Because yes, we can appreciate retail can come in, retail can be more confident to invest in the market, but we peaked out at 3.3 trillion, right? Retailers are not going to pump the market back to 3.3 trillion. I don't care what the economy looks like. That it has to have some level of institutional involvement. So when I see them come in, that gives me the green light to say that, okay, they have interest in the coin and they're feeling that we're relatively close to the bottom, or that most of the rockiness is behind us. So that's what gets me excited about their actual coin. Going forward, we're going to, this is price action here. I'm going to see if this 21 is going to hold up. And again, we do not have a cross yet. If we got a breakdown, we could potentially see a cross to the downside, and that could mean a bearish movement. But as of right now, that's not something that's on the table. That's not an indicator. We'll see that fulfill itself within the next day or so. But as of right now, we'll, based off the price action, even if we got another candle relatively with the same volume, even if it was still down, we continue trending sideways. So where we get our next cross, because right now the 21-day EMA is in between the 50-day and the 72-day. So we're going to have confirmation on which direction probably within the next 24 hours, because it's not going to, I'll be very surprised if we continue this sideways movement, especially with how tight these are running together. So we're going to have our cross either to the upside, which is going to indicate some bullishness here, crossing our 72, or to the downside, crossing our 50, which is going to indicate some bearish. So we're going to get our indication here probably within the next 72 hours. But again, even if we did cross, we would potentially have a catch down here at, oh yeah, we have several touches at around 6.5. But ultimately, that would mean pretty much a vacuuming out and institutions removing just about all the money that was put in. Right now, Doge is not getting hit the hardest. If you go back and indicator here, hold on. I accidentally exited out of my screen. All right, so I'm back. So I was trying to change back to my screen, but you'll see that if you go back and look at CoinMarketCap, you'll see that it's not getting hit the hardest. So we actually still have some room percentage-wise to stay on par with where the other coins are. So yeah, we're still up. I think it was 4%. So yeah, like around 3.48 now. So yeah, we still have some room percentage-wise, but overall we're still green. We have a couple of them that are flirting with green, but Doge is still the most green. And again, I think that's primarily because we have the highest amount of retail involvement, and they wanted to take advantage of the spikes that were coming in. So that kind of just helped elevate us a little more. And even when they took money out, it still kept us in the green, in my opinion. So let's see, I'm gonna take some questions here. The retailers don't have the funds being pumped into their pockets this year like they were in 2021. That's correct. They don't have. There's not. It's not raining money from the sky. The market would have appreciated certainly, like it did with the PPP money and stimulus packages and stuff like that. But still, the majority of that volume still came from institutions. Let's see. David, Harmony One used to be considered a good project. I've read some scary stuff lately, and I'm worried if it'll be the next Luna since I own a good amount. I'd have to take a look at it. If you're on Twitter, just message me or leave a comment, and I'll take a look at it, and I'll respond to you on there. 91 watching, smash the like button. It's free and helpful to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you. I appreciate it. Whales continue to buy Doge. Last transaction was 2.2 million. Yeah, I look at the price action, support lines, and stuff like that. So even if we break trend, I'm looking to see what the other coins are doing. Like because a lot of times people panic, even when we looked at the shorts earlier, they're blaming the shorts. The first thing I'm going to do is check the shorts. And if it's not the shorts, I'm going to check the other coins as well to see if this is like an isolated incident. If did something happen with the retail sector? Is institutions moving out of Dogecoin? But when I see that all the other coins are down more, like percentage wise, and Dogecoin is actually holding up the best in the top 10, then I don't freak out. The best platform needs a block. Let's see, what is this? Okay, I got you. And best platform is blocked. There you go. Let's see. Any giant that reports earnings or negative earnings sends the market for a spin. Yeah. Apple's a great indicator. That's one of the things I was talking about on my Patreon a few seconds ago. It was it Apple? But Apple is. I'm always bullish on Apple and stuff like that. And Apple is getting ready to test new all-time highs. So I think that is another indicator for the overall health of the market. So I'm very, very, very specific on that. Brian, what's going on with Doge? I went over pretty much like the price action and stuff like that. It's earlier in the video if you're just joining on. So if you can like skip back, I go through all the different charts and stuff. David, thank you. Do you see Bitcoin going to 10K? Many YouTubers calling it. And if so, how can Doge go? Doge, I believe, even at 6 cents with the shorts and stuff riding it, it was certainly more on the max pain level than Bitcoin. Bitcoin historically, percentage-wise, can go to 10K, but ultimately it just depends on a lot of the macros and stuff that's going in there. We have to get further breakdown in the bigger picture before we can start talking about the 10K, which is why I said it was a possibility, but I was certainly more comfortable with calling 20K just based off of the macros and how they were looking at that time. But I figured that, and we came close to making that 10K a reality with the way the Feds were missing CPI and stuff like that. But it appears that we may have a bounce here. We'll have a greater idea when the next CPI numbers come out. But the macros have to align for it to go to 10K. Now, historically, percentage-wise, yes, historically, yeah, it can certainly happen. But the macros, there's going to have to be a reason or some panic there to push that liquidity out of the market. Because when you start saying that and getting some little inklings of evidence of CPI coming down, that inflation rate and stuff like that coming down, that's going to make people want to take position so that they're not waiting on something like 10K and having to buy at 30K. So that's going to push the prices in the opposite direction. For Doge, I believe we're a lot closer on max pain. And I think we demonstrated that time we dropped down to like 5 or 4, and we got those flash crashes, and we're able to bounce back up. So I think 6 cent has done us very, very well. Massive pain in the market macros and stuff like that, maybe 5 cent, 4 cent. If we got much lower than that, I think retails would come in. And when we start talking about a penny and 2 pennies and stuff like that with the size of the Dogecoin community, I think that without institutional money, that's something that the community can handle on its own to take a position and push it up to roughly around that 5-6 cent range, which is where we've held. And we've seen that without short pressure coming in and pushing it down, we've held those numbers pretty well. So even with low volume. So I think that Doge is a lot more closer to max pain compared to Bitcoin. Bitcoin still has some room to give, but not without the macros being in line. Hope that helps. Like the sheep to slaughter, we went to the option play. Like the sheep to the slaughter, we went to the option play. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Looks like I'm buying more. Price too good to pass up. Yeah, prices are good, and that's the thing. I think that even with the comment here from the unknown welder is I think the bigger the issue is, people don't buy until we get the uptick, until we see the institutions come in. It'll be like 6 cents per month, and even right now you'd be green if you got your average down there, but it's like, no, I'm going to wait until the institutions come in, and then they come in and it pumps up. It's like, okay, I'm going to buy at 9 cents, and then they pull out, or you start having a sell off, and then people get frustrated. So that's why I was saying, people are like, oh, are you buying? You're buying? I said repeatedly, I do not buy on runs. And the quicker you adapt that habit of not buying on a run, the better off your portfolio is going to be. If you are bullish in a coin, when you see consolidations or pullbacks, or even that stagnation there, and you're bullish and you're long term, that is when you make your entries, not when it runs. It's going to save you a lot of heartache. Let's see, one spot left for the $12 Patreon. Thank you. Okay, well, we almost sold out. Yeah, I just did my options class literally like an hour ago. So, okay, great. We got one spot left. Thank you. BTC at 10K. I'll sell my house, cars, wife, and go all in. I'll keep my son, though. It's funny. Are we dipping further or going back to 8? As of right now, we'll have, I have some better inkling of it tomorrow. As of right now, I think we're resting on, what is it, the 21 day, which is literally in between 72 and 50. So it's hard to say if we're going to catch. We could get maybe even like a slighter decline down to that 50 day. But it's hard to say where we're going to get a bounce, because we did get a bounce. We did see some hesitation at 7.7, which is where technically we should have bounced to stay within that current trend. But now that that's no longer respected, we're going to have to kind of see, look at supply and demand and see where we're going to catch our footing on the next run here. So, it could be, low 7s. You could get that bounce back up to 8. We're ultimately going to see volume is still, kind of like wishy-washy. So we've seen this sell-off in a lot of the other coins. So if BTC keeps getting hit hard, which has already been hit pretty hard, we could see like a further breakdown. Maybe we'll break down to that 50 level of support. But as of right now, I don't have enough concrete evidence to kind of see that. I have to look at it on a shorter term. And because I'm long-term, it just doesn't make sense. So it can change that at any moment. So I'll wait until I have a little more definition on the candle tomorrow, and I'll report that back to you guys. I kept buying from 59 all the way down. So yeah, hopefully you lowered your DCA then. Let's see, setting a price alert, IQQ King forward to adding another chunk to my bag. Yeah, I'm assuming if you're talking about QQQ or something else. But yeah, if you're looking at like the inverse play, the inverse plays and stuff like that on red days, yeah, those are going to print money, absolutely, especially all those 3-to-1s. What's the difference between a life package for $250 and Patreon? So the Patreon. The life package is something I was doing because I would give you access to everything, and that was just for the one time. And the Patreon is going to be the $12 a month, which you would still have access to with the life package. But Patreon is like the $12 a month, and I give you my option plays for the week. The TA, we go over how I chart things and stuff like that. So whenever I make money on the week or in the long term and stuff like that, you have access to all those plays. And of course, we talk in Discord and go over the price movements during the day. So it's essentially the same thing. If you got access to the 250, it just depends on where you got in at. But 250, obviously, in the long run, it just saves you money. Which interval is the best used when looking for charts? 1 day, 4 hours, and so on. That depends on how you're playing the coin. So I'll look at, because when I'm charting Dogecoin, normally what you're looking at is like a year to date or 6 month, because I'm long term. So I want a lot of strength in my my indicators. I'm not day trading the coin or something like that. So I don't look at 1 day or a on the hour or something like that. 1 day I probably can get away with, but I'm not looking at those shorter time frame charts, just because I'm not looking to kind of jump in and out of the stock. So a lot of the micro price movements don't really matter to me. I'm looking at the long term to try and get an overall clearer picture of the actual trend. Now, if I was short term or trading or something like that, I'd narrow that chart window down. But just for my purposes of what I'm doing, it makes more sense to use a wider view. This is how I feel like crypto is going to erupt when we least expect it. 100,000 Bitcoin, 50 cent Dogecoin. There we go. Yeah, I have no doubt that both of those coins are going to hit those numbers. The question is when we hit those, the next cycle and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I'm very optimistic on both of those numbers for those coins. Thumbs up, people. Thank you, ZT. So yeah, with that, even with crypto, I do want to say that while I have you guys on here, the best thing that you can do, even while shorts are not heavily in Dogecoin right now, is going to be to remove your coins from the exchanges. This is, I know I've talked about shorts and owning your own storage, non-custodial and stuff like that. That's going to be the most beneficial thing that you can do to price action. In addition to low volume and stuff like that, is put the exchanges in a position where that if they want to lend out aggressively, make sure that they're on the hook and not leveraging your coins. And I guarantee you, the amount of coins that's available to be shorted will go down dramatically when the coins are run scarce on the exchanges, because they're not going to want to take that risk. They'd rather collect the premium from you buying these coins and then from you holding it on there. But if they have to hold a fund from that, that's going to be, their risk department is going to be in shambles. So I guarantee you that will have that supply and will dwindle the supply. Therefore, the rate will increase and you'll see a decline in these shorts overall. I can guarantee it. So again, non-custodial wallet will work. I use Ledger. I have a link for them in the description if you want to use something like a Ledger. But anything to get your coins off of the exchange will certainly benefit the coin in the long run. Absolutely. So do you think BTC is going to 10K? Who made a video about BTC going to 10K today? I've seen that a lot. It's possible. It's possible it can go to 10K, but not without the proper macros. So it's not a thing to say that Bitcoin is going to fall to 10K unless the macros are in place. Now, could we get a reversal? Could China's real estate market implode and put massive fear and defaults into the air? And could we get a slight spike up in the CPI numbers next month? And next thing you know, all hell is broken loose again. Yeah, all those things are possible. Yeah, then at that point, yeah, 10K Bitcoin is back on the table. But as of right now, neither of those things have happened, and that's not an option right now unless we have a change in the macros. If you're bullish on Bitcoin, you can start DCAing in, or if you want to try and wait and see if 10K is a possibility. If we have a breakdown of the macros, that's it's your choice. But probability wise, it's extremely unlikely unless we have the macros to align. Even now, we probably, if something did happen, depending on how bad it is, we probably go back down to some of those previous numbers before we start dealing with support, before we break through those and go to 10K. Because I think even after like 18,000, which is where we were before, I think there's there's some light support at around like 14K before we hit 10. So there's actually like a couple more levels we have to kind of break through before we got down to 10K. So that's why I say without the macros, I find it highly unlikely that will happen, but it's not off the table. Hey, David, do you think AMC will have a big run coming up? I'm expecting one this upcoming week. I'm actually expecting one. This will be a very telling this upcoming week for the entire AMC play and what it's like. As far as like synthetics and stuff like that, this upcoming week will be very, very telling overall. So I am expecting a run this week. Can China's economy really bring everything down, including stocks? Yeah, when you have, technically our largest nation that we borrowed money from, and I know now that we're technically writing checks for our own bonds and stuff. Yeah, their real estate. It's our global economies are more intertwined than you think, and you'll be surprised how many you've seen news and stuff like that, like BlackRock and all that kind of stuff selling Chinese stock. You'll be surprised how much of our largest institutions and a lot of these funds, these indexes and stuff like that have exposure to international stocks. You will be very, very surprised at the influence that the panic and was it like a miss on like reports or even a crash can have on the international market, especially here. So in the short term, absolutely. How bad it will be, that's TBD. But in the short term, yes, that can absolutely cause some panic here. China would not looking too good right now. How will that influence the market? Yeah, pretty much just answer that. We're gonna have to see if their market is going to implode, but it will certainly have a negative effect, especially in the short term. See, the YouTuber Matt Wallace said he'll deactivate his account if Doge doesn't go to 90 to $1. Do you think that's possible with the Musk launch? I mean, it's possible, but if you have that type of gap up, the safest thing that you would, I guess if you're talking about like stability wise, the safest thing that you would need is to have a gradual appreciation. Like if right now, if Elon Musk did a launch and said that we're going to launch next week, and Doge took off from 7 cents to $1 right now, that is not going to be sustainable by any means necessary. That is, you're looking at traders coming in, pumpers, all that kind of stuff like that to make a quick buck, and be very wary of those gap ups. So if we had a gradual ascend, then certainly that's something possibly we can maintain, but longevity wise, that'll be unlikely to maintain it just because of how we got there. And pretty much that'll be based simply off of hype. But overall, can we have momentum and go into the market? Yeah, we've seen that over the last 24, 48 hours. Institutions can come in and put billions of dollars into the market within a heartbeat. So, the question is what happens afterwards? So they can certainly, have that money in there, get retail involved, have it trending all on the news and stuff like that around this, making history, be this big marketing campaign. But, just have to kind of be careful and take a look at the price action that it was before we got to like a launch or the event. If you guys were in the play last year around SNL, you should remember what happens around hype. So just kind of keep that in mind. So, hello, Baha here. Do you think China will affect Tesla prices? China, well, if you're talking about the implosion of like the real estate and stuff like that, it can affect the market overall. So it's not, Tesla wouldn't be immune to it. It can certainly have an effect on like long term, no, but in the short term, I think that panic and stuff like that, Tesla wouldn't be immune to it. Not sure if you covered it at the start. Where prices Doge headed to at the end of the month. What was hoping for 10, looking like 6 or 7. It's hard to say now. I'm going to need another like day or so on the charts to kind of get an idea, see where we're going to start gathering support, because we've broken the previous trend. It's no longer respected. And I need to have like some footing here, because if we don't build support where we are now or get across to the upside, the next level of support would be down, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah. So basically where we are now, you can kind of stretch it out if you want to, but where we are now, if we got to cross to the upside, then obviously we start our new trend here. But as far as for the closest amount of actual support in recent history is actually 688. So we're going to look and see where we get this cross at, whether it's to the downside or to the upside. But I can't say for sure now until I get more evidence on where we're going to kind of like catch our footing. Here's hoping in regards to Matt Walsh, Doge hits 899. You're petty. Let's see. Let's see. Do you think Dogecoin should make everyone whole for 6 months, including the shorts? Unless it's used as a transaction, this will make the shorts whole for 6 months. You technically speaking, you can't do that. And I honestly think you can hold because that would defeat the purpose of a short. Because shorts technically is for, I won't say for market manipulation, but technically shorts is something that you don't want to be in long term. That's going to give you the probability that it's in fact going to go up. So I don't think that's going to be probable for shorts to hold for 6 months. I think that'll literally defeat the purpose of what a short is. But if something like that did exist, it would certainly result in appreciation for the coin, but it would undermine what the actual stake is on the position. Let's see. When do you realistically see Doge hitting $1 before the end of 2023, or do you think 2024 at least? We have to have, if we don't want to get there off of hype, we're going to have like utility. So that's one of the things I'm really excited in the development of Elon's and his core procedures for Twitter, because I think that'll be a certain catalyst that can carry us there on its own. But outside of hype and stuff like that, I would like to get there on a organic level, because we're looking at three things here. We can either do it based off of utility and the mass amount of coins that's being removed from the exchanges, something like a Twitter acquisition. We can do it from hype, so something like a space launch, moon launch, and stuff like that, and the media and institutions come in. You can hype your way there, or you can have, like institutions, all that kind of stuff like that, simply come in and start doing like these bull traps and stuff like that, which is another form of manipulation, and it's not going to be sustainable. For me, for the health of the coin, health of the community, stability-wise, all that kind of good stuff, the best thing for us to do will be to get a utility. So I would say like 2023 or so, depending on how the procedure goes. Otherwise, you're going to look at just trying to align it with the next bull market and stuff. And even then, we still will probably need some help from institutions, because right now we're at about $135 billion circulating supply. Without institutional help, we'd have to put $135 billion into the actual coin. So, and even then, that's still going against whatever short positions they're going to have. So for us, long-term wise, stability, stuff like that, it's going to have to come through utility, in my opinion. And I think we'll have some concrete answers on that in 2023, which will align with the next charted bull run. And that will give us the kind of like the marker to us to have a more natural like appreciation. Until then, people can get their percentages and stuff like that they're looking to acquire, coin count, all that kind of stuff. That's what matters. And that'll give them like that time. But stability wise and stuff like that, I'd say next year. We get a pump this year, but I'm assuming you would want it to stay there and not have like a flash there with a rocket launch or something, and then all the shorts and traders and stuff like that, start selling from underneath people. Forcing people to hold their currency is insane. Yeah, I agree. I don't agree with it. Hoping Voyager pulls out of this mess, looking more promising. Good deal for Doge on there. Yeah, I wonder what's going to become of Voyager and some of these other ones too after this. But I do think there's going to be a consolidation in the exchanges, so something we're going to have to see. What do you think is going on with Musk and Twitter? I think it's going to court. I think Musk is still interested. I just think that if he goes to court and he's able to prove his case, he can get a better deal. So I think, financially and stuff like that, I'll be better off. So, but I do think he's still interested. I'm going to need Doge to be at $10 in 10 years. I understand. Can the Doge chain penalize shorts with that money and buy a Dogecoin and burn it? From what I understand, that's not how it would work. I'm doing some research and stuff on Doge chain. I'll probably cover it within the next couple of days. I have an opinion. I'm not going to state it just yet, but I'm doing some research on that, and you guys will hear from me when I conclude it. What are your thoughts on Doge Bridge, converting Doge to Ethereum to access EFT, etc.? So you mean NFT? But yeah, no, I think that's great. I was always a fan of the Doge Ethereum bridge. I think that gives Doge a wider or range of utility. I've always been a fan of it. I think that it is great overall for the coin. So, the more key use cases, the better off it'll be. So I've always been a fan of Doge, the Doge Ethereum bridge. Oh, you said the Doge chain? Yeah. Oh, so you're talking about Doge chain? I thought you were talking about the Doge Ethereum bridge. Yeah, I have to, like I said a few seconds ago, I'll give out my opinion once I finish compiling my research and stuff about the Doge chain. Where can I buy Dogecoin with the Nano X? Quantify is available in my state. That's through all the platforms on Ledger Live. You're not able to buy Doge in your state. I'm assuming you're in like New York or something. How soon do you think Doge could break a new all-time high? I'd say next year, if not, if we don't get enough pump and stuff around the space launch. But again, that's not my ideal situation for breaking new all-time highs, because again, that'll be similar to what it was last time, which is hype, and it's very difficult to sustain those levels. I would like to see us sustain I'd like to see us continue the coin trend, which is technically you have your rise, you have your 80-85% correction, and then you set your new all-time high and you do it again, but you're ultimately trending upward. So I prefer it if it's not built off of that new all-time high is not set off of hype this time. Appreciate your service, David. Much love. Need that 2X disruption shirt. Yeah, shoot me an email. I just sent out a bunch like a couple days ago. So some of the people even in the chat were telling me that they had received their shirts already. So yeah, shoot me an email and I'll get one out to you. Smash the like button. 100 likes. Thank you. Okay, so I'm at 42 minutes. I want to make this too long. So yeah, that's where I'm at with the short price actions and stuff like that. So keep an eye on that. I will update you guys in the morning if we have any funny business tonight. If we get that one, any of those crosses, any direction, I'll give you an idea. I'll say check tomorrow. If not, I'll update you guys in my sidewalk talk in the morning. So other than that, like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not, and I will speak with all of you tomorrow. Have a good night.